Obviously, Matt Canada was moved to the sidelines. How much of a difference did that make for you guys?
I think it was good to feel his presence, feel his presence over there, see his emotion, and just have him there, interacting. So I think, as players, we see that right by us instead of, him being up there. Um, it gave us a little motivation.
On second down, Warren looking for an alley. He's got the end zone, and the Steelers are an extra point away from tying.
What's up, Steeler Nation? We are back with everyone's favorite podcast, the Sick Podcast, Steeler Crazy. You know what day it is. It's the Jaylen Warren Show. I am Jay York Football. This is Mic'd Up Sports One. Before we get to number 30 himself, we just want to give a big shout out to our partners over at City Wheelhouse, where the bar is set. You see it on Mike's shirt there. Go ahead and hold it up. Hold up the shirt. There you go. Read it and weep. City Wheelhouse, where the bar is set. Tires for all cars and trucks can now be purchased online at steelcitywheelhouse.com. Financing is available. Ride off in style. You know that number 30 for the Pittsburgh Steeler goes there for all his custom auto needs, and you should too. Go see our guys John and John down there. We're excited that they're riding with us all year this season, and yeah, man, I seen some pictures of Jalen's car. It looked pretty damn good, I must say. I know I'm going to be stopping there soon, and I'm decked out right now in the Stoney.
You really are.
I got the man. You come on, man. I come prepared. Another great partner over at Stoney's Brewing Company believes that beer should be made with the highest quality ingredients and no shortcuts. That's why they use only the finest natural ingredients to brew their beer, from water to the hops and barley, and everything is carefully selected to ensure a pure, delicious taste. Go and get you an ice cold Stoney. I know when we do the live show, we're going to have those Stonies flowing, and it's Victory Tuesday. So let's get them going. And hey, man, we got a new nickname for Jaylen Warren, Soren Warren. I seen it all over social media. Man, just had a career day. So what do you say, Mike? I say we get to the man himself.
Yeah, he was on Angry Runs. I finally mentioned it, or
Yeah.
I finally saw it with Kyle Brandt on NFL Network, and he had you running over Elijah Molden. I'm sure you remember that play, Jaylen. Like we told you before, that guy is a family, man. You can't be doing that to people.
Hey, I ain't going to let him do it to me. I'll tell you that.
No, congrats on a great game, a great win, 20-16 over the Titans, of course. You run for a measly 8.5 yards per carry or something like that. What a slouch. No, man, congratulations, big time stuff. What is your takeaway from that game overall? I know something interesting to me, Coach Tomlin said today at his press conference. He said he took the ball in the first drive. It's like he challenged you guys previously. He wanted the ball, said, hey, can we go score in the opening drive? And you guys went ahead and did just that. How much did that help in setting the tone for your offense?
I mean, that was huge. Just, obviously moving the ball gives us great momentum. Yeah, our mindset going into the game is we want the ball, we're going to take the ball, and we're going to set a tone for the game. So to come out with the score, I think that was a great tone setter.
Yeah, you got to talk to me a little bit about this 22-yarder you had at the end of the game. Obviously, it set up the game-winning touchdown. Absolutely huge play as you bounce out of the backfield and find some space, show off that speed. First of all, I know you probably thought you scored, right?
Oh yeah, I was so sure I scored. Even when they replayed it, I wasn't watching the replay, but I was like, oh no, I scored. Like we're good. But I didn't know it was that second foot that went out.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a whirlwind of emotions because obviously on one hand you want the TD, you put in the dirty work, but it still leads to the game-winning touchdown. How happy are you for Deontay Johnson in that moment? Guy puts his hands up like finally first touchdown in a hot minute, that's for sure. So that had to feel good for the whole offense.
No, yeah, that was a great feeling, man. I don't care who scores as long as we score. So yeah, to see when he got his catch, when he scored, it was a good feeling.
Do you think that this is the game that can spark the offense moving forward?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we displayed like we can run the ball. That's what it looks like when we run the ball effectively. Running the ball, you can really control the game. So do that.
So obviously Matt Canada was moved to the sidelines. How much of a difference did that make for you guys?
I think it was good to feel his presence, feel his
Hmm.
presence over there, see his emotion, and just have him there, interacting. So I think, as players, we see that right by us instead of, him being up there. Um, it gave us a little motivation.
Did you have any conversations with him during the game?
I mean, he'd just come up to us and be like, no matter like how the drive went, just he'd reassure us that just keep your head up and we're gonna
He
get the next
seemed he
one.
seemed like he was pretty amped up. He's running on
No,
on.
I did. Yeah, I did see a little bit of that. I was like, okay.
I was like,
Uh,
I was loving it, man.
yeah. He was high for sure.
Is that his general demeanor with you guys? I feel like a lot of people off the field, see him in these press conferences, and obviously it's not easy when you guys aren't lighting it up on the scoreboard. I think that's fair to say. But is he always a guy that's been like, let's go, encouraging first, optimistic, positive?
Yeah, very optimistic. Yeah, he's always making sure everybody's good, and you know, we mess up on one play, make sure we just focus on the next play, type deal.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, it's important not to get frustrated. I got to ask you this question in regards to frustration. And obviously, we know that we're not in the field or that locker room, but it did become a big subject after the game. George Pickens and his emotions, and some of his reactions, and his faces, I guess, that he made during the game. Talk to me about George's emotions. I know you're not George, you're not in his body, but what is the real story, man? What's going on in that locker room?
I mean, when he starts feeling some type of way, as teammates, we kind of just like tell him to keep his head up, and it's just one game, or we can always fix the issue. Just trust the process. We're in it together.
Is he? I feel like he's somebody who's emotional. Would you agree? Because he wants to win so badly, and like it's okay to want the rock. Obviously, I'm sure every player wants more touches. But is that fair to say that's where most of his emotion stems from? Just that will, that want to dominate all the time.
Yeah, that's just his personality. He wants to win. He wants to be a part of the win. So he displays it when he feels it that way.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, so I just want to, before I jump into the questions, another great partnership that we have over at Brushes and Beans Cafe in Murraysville. Caffeinate and create at Brushes and Beans Cafe. Visit them at 4550 William Penn Highway in Murraysville. Um, yeah, just a overall great place. People there. Mark is an awesome person, family man. Just a lot of good stuff you can do over there, from art. Like I said, I can use a double shot of espresso. I've been going since 5 a.m. This morning. So make sure you stop by and tell them that the Sick Podcast sent you, and get the JY special double shot of espresso. With that being said, the Packers are coming into town. Do you feel rested after 10 straight days? It's nice having 3 straight home games and obviously no airplane problems.
Right. The week's always good when we don't have airplane problems. But yeah, I feel rested. I feel like we had a long break. I'm just ready to get back to it.
Definitely. What's the focus this week? Obviously, it's the same focus, prepping for the Packers and whatever team's coming into Acrisure Stadium. But is there like a specific thing that you guys are really trying to make click? Obviously, from the outside looking in on our end, like the offense really seems like it's starting to turn the page a little bit. And this could be a game where it could really, maybe a 30, 40 point, performance.
50. Let's go.
50. Hey,
Right. We haven't met on the Packers yet. We've
okay.
all been doing like our individual work. So our first or tomorrow will be our like first meeting together, and collectively we'll come up with a plan.
Yeah.
How
Well,
good do you feel like after this rest? I feel like those 10 days, man.
Good.
You,
Yeah, I feel like I could run forever right now.
really?
Yeah, like my hammy's good. Everything that was like a little tight. All that feels straight. I got a good massage yesterday, so I feel very good.
did you know you were on Good Morning Football for the Angry Runs?
Yeah, my mom sent it to me.
Okay,
Did she send it to you?
I know I was gonna send it to your dad, but I'm like, I'm sure that he probably already seen it.
Oh yeah.
But
He
yeah, I
does.
mean, I was you probably could have been on there every week, but after that one, I think that they had no choice but to put you on there.
So
Mike
if you
gave me
win,
that.
he sends you something out. Like you get like this throne or something, and you get like a T-shirt. I know Jameer Gibbs from the Lions won it last week because there's I'm not sure if it's voting, but if you win, I know that like you get something from the NFL Network. So just be prepared.
No, for real.
FYI,
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of this
So
goofy thing.
yeah,
It was kind of cool.
before I throw it back to Mike, I always have to ask the fans have spoken. You have any Jalen-isms for us? We try to give you preparation, man.
I always forget, bro. Have I said this
I'm
one?
gonna message you next time. I'll message you
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Do
and
that.
I'll say,
Do
bro,
that.
like, come on.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to get one from your dad. That's what I
Yeah,
think comes next.
Oh
We
yeah.
having him
Oh,
on.
he'll have one
we're
for
gonna have
sure.
to have him on straight up.
Right. No. Yeah. He'll have one for sure. I would say one I really like is, I don't know if I said this already, but it's sweat in training or bleed in battle.
I like
It's
that.
Have
new.
I said that yet?
No,
No,
it's new.
I like
See,
that one.
you always act coy, and you're like, "Oh, I don't have anything," and then you throw out a Romeo and Juliet verse at us, like,
It just
uh,
pops up when I start thinking. I just gotta, my mind start running.
you like to not overpromise and then underdeliver. You always hit us hard with those, just like you hit Elijah Molden the other day. All right, before before we get you out of here, I want to get to some fan questions. Of course, we love taking these. Um, I was laughing as we were on air and Jordan was asking you questions because, and you could stay radio silent on this. Obviously, I'll move on. But one of the commenters on my Twitter posted, I don't have a question. I just want him to know everyone agrees the fines he receives are bullshit. So that made me laugh when I was
yeah,
going through the questions here, and I will not make you comment on that. Of course, I think you already have, but I think we all agree with mirror cat feces on that one over here.
uh-huh.
So thank you for throwing that in there. I think you said it all right there. All right, let's get you a couple right here. I thought this one was interesting. I don't think we talked to you about this fully. This is from Wattsburg on Twitter. He wants to know what's the process like coming out of the draft after you're getting the calls as an unrestricted free agent. What happens during that process in regard to like your agent communicating with you, you guys trying to find the best fit? What do you remember from that?
So it was the seventh round, and they had picked Brock Purdy as Mr. Irrelevant. So I knew, whatever. Um, I so after that, my agents called me right away. It was like, you're going to Pittsburgh, and then I was like, oh yeah, asking them questions, but they're like, yeah, it's like the best fit, whatever, da da da. And so I had 2 weeks to prepare, and before I went out. But a draft story that I have, that's, I don't know, that I always remember is, it was the third day, and I wake up, I go down, I go downstairs to put on the draft, and then I get a call, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm freaking out, like, oh my gosh, and so I answer, I'm like, what's up, coach? And it was the Green Bay running back coach. I was like, what's up, coach? And he's like, hey, Jalen, how you doing? I'm like, I'm doing good. How are you? And he's like, I'm doing good, man. I just wanted to call and check up on you, see how you're doing.
What is wrong? Why would he do that?
Wow, exactly. Like, my heart was beating, and then I was like, oh yeah, I'm good. And he's like, okay, just know we're like high on you. Da, da, da. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Man,
That is dirty. That
I
is
said, why are
so.
you checking on me? Like, damn. It
So
gave my
this is a
hotel photo,
revenge
but
game. This
I
is a
don't
yeah.
regret
revenge
nothing
game
about
against
it.
the
There we
Packers.
have it on the
The
Jaylen
re-
Warren show, the
the
Packers revenge game.
revenge game coming up right
Yeah,
here, man. That's like a prank
yeah.
phone call
Get
or
that?
something like that. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh! I just
I
wanted to
think it
see how
was
you should have. Go ahead.
no. I mean, I think it was genuine. Like, he was actually checking on me,
Right.
but that was just like a false phone call. I'm freaking out
Yeah.
before I'm
He
answering the
probably
call.
didn't like have an idea of like where you were, like kind of like where your head was at. Like you're thinking like, hey, this is the
No,
call, and
right.
he's just like, hey, I'm checking up on to make sure
Yeah,
everything's good. Type, that's crazy.
yeah. And I was
Dude,
just watching the draft, and they're like, Jalen Warner. I'm like, ah.
There was a Jaylen Warner
Jalen
taken too.
Waddle. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I just-
man, I wonder if they were like prepared to take you and then something happened because that is just so. I've never heard that in my entire life. A guy just checked. Like what a. I don't even want to say the words, but I guess it's a podcast for here. I'll
yeah,
just say it's a blue something. I'll put it that way. But that is unbelievable, man. Like I said, revenge game right here. Jaylen
yeah.
Warren versus a running back coach for the Packers. But I don't know if he's still a running back coach. But will you interact with him after the game? I'm sure if you see him.
I mean, I don't know if I see him. I don't even know what he looks like. Anything. So I
Oh,
wouldn't
okay.
know.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. That is so interesting. All right, I'll hit you with one more here. Let's see. I got a couple good questions. I think this one, we've asked this before in a variety of different ways, but it's always interesting to hear your take each week. Pickens GOAT, how do you let yourself and Najee coexist in the offense and work together instead of fighting for the number one spot?
I mean, I think we understand. We both understand that we feed off each other. Obviously, Najee does what he does. I go in, I compliment him. Like, plan's still the plan. We understand that we're a big part of the offense, so we just try to produce when we can. Whenever we get them plays to make a play, I feel like we take advantage of it. And when I see him do that, it like gets me up there, gets me excited, and so it makes me want to do that. So yeah, like that.
And at the end of the day, it's a team game and you guys just want to win. It doesn't matter who has, the most yards, the most touchdowns. If the scoreboard reads that the Steelers have more points than the other team, I think that's what matters. I think you can attest to that.
Yeah, like Najee was a hot Texans game, and I was like, "Hey, bro, you're hot. Like, whatever. Like, coach tried to put me in. I'm gonna leave you in there. Whatever. You're doing your thing. Keep doing your thing. Just let me know. Like, when he's hot, yeah,
What
I let him know."
what about Anthony McFarland? I read that he was just activated off IR. What kind of relationship do you have with him? I mean, that's another guy. My gosh, explosive.
No, Ant's my guy, man. Yeah, Ant's he's a baller for sure. He's cool. That's like my locker buddy. So we get along real well. We like talk every day. It's good. It's gonna be good to have him back. We could do a lot more things with the offense, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get him on the show. Let's rock. I want Jalen and Ant on one of these upcoming shows.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'd be down to join us one of these times, but probably after your dad because that's our dream guest first and foremost. You got to love rocking with him.
Yeah, I can tell him let's do it next week.
Let's do
Sounds
it.
good.
If you guys get a win over the Packers, I want to see Jalen and Ant Mac for sure joining us on the show, and then a special appearance, like I said. Or were you talking about your dad? Or were you talking about Ant Mac? I wasn't sure.
I was telling my pops, but
Oh,
I
your
can.
pops. Okay.
Yeah, next week. Yeah, I can tell my pops, but if you want to add Matt, we can tell that Matt hop on here.
We'll
Cool.
rock. We'll see where we land for sure. Hey, man, as always, it's a pleasure. We'll be
Right.
catching up with you soon. Listen, all the fans out there, Jordan and I have rocked some live shows in the past. We're hoping to do one with Jalen coming up in the near future. We'll keep everybody updated on that. Jalen, man, we always tell you, first and foremost, stay healthy out there, all right?
Alrighty. Thank y'all.
50
Good
points,
luck.
2 touchdowns.
Let's get
Let's
it.
go.
We'll see you
Let's
next
get
Tuesday,
it.
man.
Yeah.
Let's rock.
All right, man.
Peace.
Later, my guy.
All right, y'all.
I want to mention something, Jordan, it's very important. I want to talk a little bit about this hat, of course, right here on the Jaylen Warren show. It's obviously keeps us looking fresh every single time. This is Shop Yins, the number one brand for Pittsburgh sports. It's honestly my favorite hat of all time. I can't even lie. I mean, I'm wearing it pretty much
It's your
every show
go-to.
at this point. It's
Mine
my go-to.
too. I just have to switch it up and show love to
It's-
everyone.
It fits so well. It is literally one size fits all, one of those type of hats as well, where you don't have to worry about buckling the back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a
Flex
dope
fit.
hat. Taylor's doing a great job. Flex fit, that's the word I'm looking for. Make sure you use our code, okay, SICK15 for 15% off your entire purchase at shopyins.com. They're really gaining a lot of steam right now. I know a lot of people have hit us up and been like, man, thank you so much for showing us Shop Yins. We got some awesome stuff. People are copping T-shirts, sweatshirts, Jaylen Warren gear left and right. These hats, man, I'm seeing them left and right at Acrisure Stadium. Watching these, sometimes you're watching, obviously, the wide shots of the fans and people have these hats on. So that's great to see. Congrats to all that Taylor has done. But, yeah, man, another These shows are always, good after a W. That's for sure, man. They're good always, but they always have a different vibe after a win.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a lot easy. He's a professional, but it's a lot easier and, more lighthearted when, the Steelers win. And I think that they're going to win against Green Bay. And I think that, again, I keep standing by this. And one of these times I'm going to be right, that I think that the Steelers offense, this could be the game where they really, turn it up. And I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm living a dream a little bit with 50 points, but I mean, anything's possible, and I think that they're due. I really like Matt Canada on the sidelines.
Living a dream. You must have had one too many Stoney's beers. That's what I'm going to call it.
There you go.
I think you're pounding way too many Stoney's beers.
Hey, it is the Steeler. It is the Sick Podcast
crazy,
Steeler Crazy. So I got to add the crazy in there a little bit, but yeah, just all around good stuff. And what really, after that episode, what really spoke to me is just like how humble Jalen is and how much of a team player he is. Like it was like he said in the Texans game, obviously Najee was having a good game and, just say, hey, you're hot, we're going to keep doing it. That's just great to see. I mean, it makes you, he's a likable guy just from doing this show from him, and Steeler Nation obviously is falling in love with this guy's play on the field, but just overall, just as a human being, he's just an awesome person. And we're very fortunate to speak with him and, do this every week with all of Yins. That's 2 Z's.
For sure, man. Yins with 2 Z's. And we hope to see Yins at a live show once we get that on paper and announce that. We'll have Jalen out. We'll do some fun things for the community, give back a little bit, fundraiser, and, of course, some giveaways. Of course, we love giving away. We still owe somebody a Jaylen Warren jersey out there. We didn't forget that. So we're going to get another Warren jersey, of course, out here. And hopefully it's autographed this time because we'll be seeing Jalen.
We gave away tickets. Shout out to the Berg Runner. Hopefully they enjoyed the game. And we're going to be doing more giveaways. The second half of the season's just starting.
Yeah.
It's going fast, but there's still a lot of football to be played. And the Steelers can be looking at 6-3 after this game. And I say
they need it.
Man.
The North is loaded. The North is loaded. The Bengals have caught fire. I knew they would catch fire. I mean, come on now. We're counting.
It was
out
only
Joe
a matter
Burrow.
of time.
I'm counting out them at 0-2. Like, it's so early in the season. These guys are were in Super Bowl 2 years ago, almost were in it again last year. The Ravens cannot stop winning, even though the Steelers were able to trip them up. So people will say, oh, the Steelers only beat mid-teams. They beat the Raiders. Congrats. They beat the Titans. Congrats. No offense, guys. But you got to look at that win. The Ravens right now are the top seed in the AFC if the playoffs were to start today. So the Steelers got the W over them. Both teams are at full strength, too. So that's something to hang your hat on if you're a Steeler fan. Like everybody keeps saying each week, all right, this team is probably going to sneak into the playoffs, but they're going to get smacked by one of the better teams. Well, they already beat one of the better teams. So at the end of the day, you still have 60 minutes of football when you have a guy like Jaylen Warren on your team. It inspires a lot of hope because he don't quit. He runs angry. That's fitting. Mm-hmm. I hope he gets that award and has to hold out a sword or whatever. He'll do it on the show.
You got to bring it on the show, and we can't wait to possibly have Anthony McFarlane and, of course, Mr. Warren himself. So, yeah, great stuff. We appreciate you guys. Make sure you subscribe. Remember that we're not just on YouTube. If you're in the car, we're on Spotify, Apple, Google. Just, wherever you listen to your podcast, make sure you bookmark, subscribe, all that good stuff, and tell your friends that the Sick Podcast, Steeler Crazy, and every Tuesday during the season is the Jaylen Warren Show. Just want to, again, thank all of our sponsors, the Yins brand with 2 Z's, Stoney Beer, Steel City Wheelhouse, and Brushes and Beans. And we will see you on Friday to preview Steelers Packers. Thank you guys for joining us. Until next time, go Steelers.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Steelers Crazy on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.